How did you find the process of doing Codesign Online?
I thought it was really fun, and I really valued that we spent time getting to know each other. I thought we could still be really creative and take the time to be creative, even though it was online.
I like the way that you could interact with other people with lived experience or people who had been bereaved by somebody.
I was a little bit nervous about joining in to an online meeting, but as the process went along, it became a lot easier, and it was really nice to see some of those same faces.
You know, you do get a bit nervous about being online, and the technology type stuff can be a bit scary and hairy. But I think overall it was a really good experience, I think.
Well, you've got more control over your environment for a start, so it's a bit more comfortable to do it at home.
It did make it easier being in my own space to actually feel comfortable and probably talk about things that potentially might have been more of a challenge.
Surprisingly, I found it quite comfortable, but the process itself I felt was really, really well considered.
Well, I found it easy because, you know, I could participate remotely. You know, in terms of like the technology and everything, it flowed really nicely. It was good that the facilitator could take us out into rooms and then bring us back together.
Were there any challenges, any specific challenges related to actually doing the process online for you?
Just logging on and not knowing who was going to be there. It felt a little bit different than walking through a door in a room. But after that, there were really not many challenges because I felt like I knew what to expect.
For me, probably the biggest challenge was getting a sense of what was going on outside of our lived experience group. With the online process, having that context was a little bit harder.
I feel like I'm a bit backward when it comes to technology. So I think just getting that stuff right initially was, you know, a bit of a challenge for me.
When we did the first one, there was an element of learning a new technology or a new platform that was inserted into the process.
The fact that they used some software to collect our thoughts in regards to some questions, and not knowing what that software was going to be.
Particularly with the breakout rooms that we had, maybe a heads up next time that sort of thing is going to take place.
I suppose it would have been nicer to have been together with all the other participants, because some of them I didn't know.
The challenge I have with co-design online or offline is because I'm not a person that would engage with services, I wonder sort of, well, what have I got to contribute to this?
Particularly, was there something that surprised you that maybe you didn't imagine would be a benefit to doing Codesign Online?
I guess it was really heartwarming to hear so many people passionate about their experiences and the work that they do.
That's a really sensitive personal topic, and you want to feel safe when you're talking about it. And we spend the time developing interpersonal safety with the other participants. But because I was at home doing it, I was in a safe space, wearing my comfy clothes, with my partner ready to debrief right after the session.
The best thing for me was I felt like I could open up a bit more online than what I would have in person. In person, I think I would have gone into my shell a little bit more.
It was easier to, you know, be at work and log on rather than having to travel somewhere to do it face to face. So it did make it made the commitment more manageable.
There was more opportunity for people to speak up who might not otherwise speak up, to be encouraged to speak up.
It was just how simple it was. You know, the formalised process, it was stepped through so well. The way the breakout rooms were used, the software that was used sort of moved you in and out of that process really seamlessly.
Definitely the fact that people didn't have to be all together in the one place at the same time. People could join in remotely.
You're in your safe zone. You're at home. You're not haven't got other people around that you're judging yourself against them or anything like that.
Co-design actually lends itself to being delivered via a teleconferencing platform quite well.
Everyone was heard, where oftentimes in a face-to-face meeting, you don't get the actual opportunity to express yourself because there isn't this process of a facilitator referring to each person.
You got any ideas, bright ideas for improving the process as it rolls out into other regions?
If there's more time in the lead up to the co-design, then the chance to get the word out will be greater, and it will probably attract more potential participants in other LHDs.
I think just know ahead of time, if possible, how many people are going to be in that first meeting and who's going to be there, just so that you have a little bit more of a sense of what to expect.
It always helps to know a little bit about what's going to happen. So even if it was just a short blurb or video, just to explain, simply explain the process.
The feedback loop webinars were less interactive than the focus group meetings we had.
I did find it helpful that there was offers of support. So I would really, recommend that that's still available.
I think a little bit more feedback on the process, on where it's going after what we've done, after our co-design meetings and evaluation, and just letting us know where it's going from here, so that we don't sit back and think, oh, here's something else we've contributed to that's not going to happen.
Having someone to debrief sometimes afterwards would be a good idea. Like now it's been a few weeks since we've had the conversations, but not knowing, where that's gone.
What would you say to people who are thinking of getting involved but may have reservations or anxieties about doing Co-Design Online?
It's a perfect thing for people to do who've got lived experience, because not only does it heal yourself, you feel good that you're healing somebody else, so you're there to help somebody else.
Being a part of this was super rewarding. It was really positive, and the facilitators created a really trusting and safe and private space. And I felt a lot of warmth and confidence to participate.
I would really recommend it. I would say it's a really good chance to reflect and contribute in a broader sense. It was really positive because sometimes it feels like change happens slowly, and it was like the change was happening. So that was, very inspiring as well.
I would definitely recommend doing it. I think getting involved, I think the fact that, you can have choices as well. You don't have to do the video links or whatever. You can do the online responses as well.
Because it's actually a much easier and a much more enjoyable and easy to do process than I ever imagined it would be.
Roses have gone out of their way to have support people available, sort of online, ready to go, to either talk to you online or via phone during the session and afterwards. And for me, I think just the thought that they're there was fantastic.
That they had our best interest at heart, and there was this, it wasn't mollycoddling, but knowing that they are there to support you.
So if time's something that could potentially be a barrier, it's not as much of a barrier by doing the co-design online.